Hey, this is Sasha. Thanks for joining me in today's video. And what I want to share with you today is the concept of buy to open, buy to close, sell to open, sell to close. These terms can be really confusing, especially if you're just new to option trading and getting started, or even just in the basic stock sense. So we're going to take a look at these kinds of terms in this video. All right, so if you're brand new and you're just getting started, one of the things I would recommend is you definitely check out our website at Rise, the number 2, Learn, and then you can scroll down and check out our new options course. This is version 2.0 for Options Foundation, so it's the first course in our series. It's 11 hours long and very detailed. You can also get a lot of free stuff on our website. If you go to tradersfly.com, go to the freebies section. There's a bunch of stuff there, but of course you can access the course. And that course is on sale and on special for now, so you can get $50 off. Just go to the website there. The coupon code will pop up for you right at the top of the page. So anyways, with that being said, let's kind of get started and work our way through these terms. All right, so ultimately, when you look at this concept of buy to open, buy to close, sell to open, sell to close, it's not as difficult as you may think. And the reason for that is because what people do is they overcomplicate it. Okay, do I need to buy to open, sell to open, buy to close, sell to close? I have to really think about these things. And really, when you simplify things, you have to just look at it from the perspective of, hey, what are you trying to do? Where are you trying to get to? Now, before we get to this section, I do want to remind you to check out our Traders Fly website. There's a lot of great getting started pages here and a lot of great freebies that you could check out and download, along with some great courses that we have, books and courses, memberships, and coaching. So if you need one-on-one sessions, we can go ahead and talk and speak directly. Anyways, with that in mind, what are people trying to do? What are you trying to get to when you're trying to buy to open, buy to close, sell to close, all these things? Well, the point is you're always trying to get to zero, okay? So if you go ahead and buy a, let's say a paintbrush and you're a paintbrush dealer, well, you go ahead and you buy a paintbrush, and what are you trying to do with it? You're trying to get to zero paintbrushes, because that's when you sold everything. So I buy 50 paintbrushes. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to sell them now at my store. I'm trying to get to zero, okay? Now, what happens if you went ahead and sold 50 paintbrushes to someone? Someone called you on the phone and said, hey, here's 50 paintbrushes. I want to place an order. You go ahead, okay, let me take your credit card. Well, you go ahead and you made the transaction. Now you're short 50 paintbrushes. You sold some paintbrushes, but now you have to deliver. So what do you need to do? You need to go ahead and go down to the warehouse to your supplier and pick up 50. So you need to buy 50, and now you're back at zero, right? So that's the way that it works. So let's take a look at this on screen here, and then we'll go to a trading panel and platform. So ultimately, what your goal is, in the concept of, is always to get to zero. Why? Because that's where you're neutral. So if you went ahead and let's say you went and you've bought, let's say you buy 20 shares of stock. Well, now what are you trying to get to? Well, eventually you want to get to zero. So now you need to sell to get to zero. Okay. So you're closing that position. Okay. If I want to go ahead and let's say somebody placed an order with me, or I want to short a stock, well, you can sell first, and let's say I sell 40 shares. Well, what do I need to do to get to zero? I need to add 40. So now to close that position, that's all I'm doing. When you close something, you're closing, you're getting rid of things. That's all it really means. Now, could I go ahead and buy? Yeah, you could buy, and buy. So now if I go ahead and I buy 20 shares, 10 shares, 30 shares, does it really matter that I sold or bought in the case of to close or to open? Well, all of these trades are in a way opening or adding trades. So what is this? 30 plus another 30 is 60 trades. In the end, I have 60 shares. That's all that matters. All that matters is what are you adding or subtracting from your account? That's what matters. Okay, if I go ahead now and start selling some, let's go ahead and I sell, okay, and I sell, let's say I sell 20 and I sell another 10, okay. Now, would this be sell to close or sell to open? Well, you're kind of closing it, but you're not fully closed. So now I go ahead and 60, take off 20, now you're 40, and now you're 30. You're back at 30 shares. So now, how does this work in the concept of these terms? Because this is what confuses people, is these exact terms. So if I'm buying to open, that means I'm starting, all it states is I'm starting at zero, okay? Whereas here, you've got a dynamic position. I'm starting at 0, so I go ahead and I buy to open. So let's say I go ahead and get Tesla shares. I buy, let's say 10 shares, and I bought it. Now I've got 10 shares. Okay, so how do I close this position out? How do I go ahead and get rid of my shares? Okay, well, let's say I buy another 10. Would that be buy to open, a sell to open, buy to close, and so on? Well, to close this position out, okay, to close this position out, I need to sell to close because I need to get rid of 10, okay? And where do I do it? Sell to close. Well, that means to sell to close, I need to start with something. So here I've got my Tesla, and I have 10 shares, okay? And now I need to go ahead and sell 10 shares, and now I'm back to 0. Now, could I have sold 5? Yeah, but then I didn't close it. I just sold. I didn't close it. I just sold. So don't let the sell to close confuse you. All that means is I just sold some shares. If I sold 5, let's say I sold 5 shares, and now I'm 5 shares long, okay? So that's all it means. But I know in the brokerage platforms, they sometimes confuse you. What about sell to open? Well, it still means you're starting at 0. And now what you're doing is you sell 10 of, let's say, Facebook. Let's change this to 5 in case we get YouTube comments somewhere. So I sell 5 shares of Facebook. And now what we're doing is, okay, well, now I'm net in total short 5 shares. I've sold to open. I've got a negative 5 shares. So how do I close this position? Well, I have to start with some sort of negative position. And in our case, it's a negative 5 shares. And now here, I have to buy back. I buy 5 to close. Well, now, if I bought 2, is that to close? Well, in a way, yeah, you're closing some, but you're not fully closed. So you close some. So I hope you see how that really works. It's either a buy or a sell, and you're either positive or negative. And then these open and close, all it matters is, hey, are you closing out what you have, or are you opening it up from a new thing? And it doesn't matter in that regard too much. So here, I'm going to show you this concept on Facebook, or actually, let's just do something like AMD. And let's see here. I think I have an account here. This will be in our, let's do this account right here. Just because I'm recording a butterflies course and I don't want that to interfere. So here we've got AMD. Let's go ahead and we buy, let's just say one share. Does it say anywhere in here buy to open? No, it just says buy or sell. That's all it says, buy or sell. So I could go ahead and buy, but in reality, it's buy to open. Why is it buy to open? Because I don't have any shares of Amazon here. So I go ahead and, or any shares of AMD. So I'll just go ahead and sell or buy this one. And let's just go ahead and make it a market order just to get filled quickly here. There it is. I got 1 share. Okay, so you can see I've got AMD 1 share. I've bought to open. Now what happens if I go ahead and buy more? Let's buy another single share. Okay, let's go ahead and buy another 1 share. Am I buying to open now, or what? Or buying to close? No, I'm buying to open. I keep adding to the position. I'm adding to it. So I go ahead, boom, there's another share. So now I've got 2 shares. I am long 2 shares. So how do I go ahead and close some of these positions? Well, I sell. I have to sell. Now I'll right click, analyze closing. I sell 2 shares. You can see right here, I go ahead, does it tell me anywhere that it's selling to close? No, it just says sell. It just says sell 2 shares. Why don't we just go ahead and sell 1 share? Okay, it doesn't say sell to close, it just says I'm selling shares. Okay, and here we'll go ahead and let's just bump down the price, just try to get filled on it pretty quick. Boom, there it is, sold. AMD right there. It doesn't say to close, you can see right there. So you'll notice some of those things will pop up, and because you've had some shares. They will pop up on some of the trade screens after the trade is executed, but before the trade is executed, you have to kind of know what's going on. So if I go ahead and now, let's say we buy another 5 shares, and I go ahead and put it in on a market, what's going to happen is it says to open, which basically means to add to your position. And if I go ahead and sell right here, let's go ahead and sell 2 shares. How many shares are we here? We got 6 shares. So here we've sell and we go for it. You can see it's closing the position. So it means it's reducing the position. Okay, let's go ahead and sell the remaining. We've got 4 and show the other way. Sell, and we've got 4 that we want to do, because my goal is to always get to 0. There we go. To close, you can see there it is. I've closed that position. So now I'm back at 0. Okay, now let's take a look at another viewpoint of, let's say we sell even more shares. We're at 0, okay, back to 0. This is neutral. So let's say we sell to open. So how do I do that? Well, let's go ahead and sell. I'm just going to go ahead and do 1 share. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a market order. Let's see what happens here. Will it tell me? I don't know if it'll let me fill it. Because this is, yeah, it's rejected. Simply because what's happening is the trade itself, I could go ahead and sell a vertical, I guess. Because what's happening is it's a paper trading account, and you have to have certain margin permissions on it and all that stuff. So let's just go ahead and sell an option contract here. Let's sell a vertical. Okay, here we go. We'll sell a vertical, this one, and we'll just do market order. Okay, so here's our vertical. And you can see what happens is to open to open. It's a little interesting way, right? So it's to open, because I had 2 contracts, right? So we're opening the position even though we're sold something. And that's what's going on, is right here, boom. I am short 1 and positive 1. So I'm opening the trade, but I've sold the vertical. And to get out of this, what you do is you have to go back to 0. So how do I get back to 0? Well, first, I mean, I could do it as a vertical itself, which is the smart approach, but each one of these has to go to 0. So you could go ahead and stack all kinds of contracts on here. Let's go ahead and do like a butterfly on here. You might not know if we're just talking about stocks, if you just deal with stocks. But my point is you might have a lot of different trades, and what's going to happen is you'll have a bunch of -1s and +1s, and your ultimate goal here, you can see I've got this one, and let's go ahead and buy another, create rolling, not rolling. Let's go ahead and buy another single over here, right there, and let's go ahead and buy 2 of these over here, or 3. So what you'll have eventually is you'll have positions. Here's another one to open. What you'll have is eventually a lot of these positions is they will have you'll have different contracts and different amounts at different points, and you'll have a plus and a minus and a plus and a minus. So these are contracts. Think of these as like stocks. And your end goal is to get back to 0. So how do I unroll this position? How do I get back to 0? Well, that's the big picture goal. So I could go ahead and analyze closing trade, or go ahead, create closing order. I'll go ahead and do it for this one, confirm and send that in, and boom. And you can see there it is, to close. That's all. My big picture is not worrying about to open, to close. It's just buy or sell. And how do I get to 0? This one is a +1, so that means I got to sell 1. Okay, this is a +2, that means I got to sell 2. So let's get out of all these short ones, the negative ones. So here's the -2, so I need to go ahead and buy 2 to get out of it. I'm doing it individually just to show you the process, but normally if you got a spread, you would do it as a spread altogether. So there, now that one is at 0. Okay, so we've got now this +1 over here. Why don't we get rid of that one? I'll right click, create closing order, and I need to sell 1. So think of this. Okay, I've got that, so I need to do that exact one. I've got a put, so I need to buy, if I've got a put that I've bought, so I don't get the call, I have to sell the put, right? If you've bought a phone, you have to sell the phone. If you sold the phone, you got to buy the phone. In this case, we've got a put that we've bought, so it's not that I now need to buy a call to go opposite of this. No. You've got a put, so you need to sell the put. That exact one, the August 20, right there, put. So I have to sell one. So create a closing order. You can say, see, it's create a closing order, a sell -1 AMD put. It's not a call, okay? Because if I did a call, just because some people, I've had people that call me and they say, hey, well, don't you now need to do a call? No, I don't, because if I do a call, here's my put. I've got the 45 put. So if I go ahead and get the call over here, let's say I buy the call, I'll just put that in there. You can see it actually opens the position. So what's going to happen is now I've got the put and the call. I've got a +1 and a +1. So to get out of these, I got to go ahead and right click, create a closing order, sell this, and you can see it puts in the call, and that's how you get out of it. So I'll go ahead, close that. You can see to close right there. Okay. Here, this one, right click, analyze closing trade, close it, and you can see all I'm doing is just doing the opposite. Here's a +2. So what do I need to do? +2, I need to sell 2. Now, do I have to click this and analyze closing trade or create closing order? No. All I need to do is go into this August 20, 52.5 and look for my +2. And here's my trade screen. Let's go ahead and, let me see, here, I went ahead, you can see here I have a position. Here's a +2, went ahead, and there's my +2 on my position. So I need to go ahead and, you see, sell, and I got to sell 2 because that's my position. So as I look to unravel all this, let me sell these 2. And here's an interesting way. Let's go in and change this single order to blast all. So I'm going to blast everything. So I'll sell 2 of these. I'll go ahead and sell a single one of these. So you can see there. Let's see if we have any other positions. This one, let's see where we're at here. This one we've got puts, we've got 4. So I need to sell, because I've bought some, right? I'm positive, so I need to sell 4 of those. So now I've got this trade set up right here. There's the 4, 2, 1, and I can blast all of them on my setup, and you just basically boom, confirm and send. You can see all of those trades will go in, and watch it go bing, 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 bing. There it is. Look, all those trades just sold, filled. So we just blasted all those orders, and now we're at 0. So anyways, that's the way that it works. That's really, buy to open. You've got sell to open, buy to close, sell to close, but all that doesn't really matter. All you're trying to do is get back to neutral, and neutral is 0. So how do you get to this 0 mark? Well, if you're short, now you need to add to that, which is buying. If you're long, which means you've bought some, now you need to sell some to get back to 0. So that's all you're trying to do. And people wonder, does it really matter if you're if you sell first? No, it doesn't. How can you sell first? The people that are not in the business world, they can't fathom and understand how can I sell something I don't have? And the reason is the same way that a car dealer can sell you something they don't have. They can sell you a car, but they'll deliver it to you later on. It's under contract. Or, we take pre-orders, we'll ship it. How can Amazon sell you something that they don't have? They don't have that stuff. They might have it in a warehouse, but they don't have it right there and then all the time. Sometimes they have to order it from somewhere else. Eventually that package delivers. They are short technically before they actually deliver it to your house. They've sold something they don't have for you. You can't have an instant transaction like that. So that's really what's happening. We're just so used to the store. We go in, we grab it, we hold it, and you're holding it, but you technically haven't had it. You haven't purchased it yet. So don't get that wrapped up too much. It's really, you can sell first or you can buy first. And insurance companies do it all the time. They can sell you insurance and they don't have to pay out until, well, you get into a car accident. You can sell a lot of things first. Sold first, and then you take kind of possession of it later, or you have to buy it back. So the point is you're just trying to get back to zero. All right, so thanks for joining me. I hope you definitely check out some of these freebies that we have on our website at tradersfly.com, and then just go to the freebies section. There's a ton of great freebies you can just download. Just go ahead and click one, and pop-up will come up. Just put in your email and we'll send it to you for free. You can also check out our coaching section. So if you want a one-on-one session, this is also a great time to really get some personal attention. So anyways, check out the course. If you're brand new, it'll definitely get you a jump start on the foundation stuff. But if you just want to get the freebies, just go ahead and click here and grab some of those freebies absolutely free, of course. So thanks again, and I will see you next time in one of the future videos or in the course.